camera. Okay. Does the frame look good? It looks good enough.
Framing right?
Okay. Should I do an audio test or do I just want to?
We don't want this
we should do this in a different like we should do it in silence and dub it over. So we have to say everything twice.
And you read my lines, I read your lines, and then you guys swap.
Just switch everything. That would be so fun for me.
Whose line is it anyway? Am I right?
I'm gonna check.
Is that a little fidget, Dylan?
What fidget? Probably. Don't.
Okay.
Pay no attention to that.
Dude, I have that on my desk too.
This wasn't supposed to be our recording studio.
It works fine.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in the porch.
Jesus Christ, Dylan. What?
Oh, yeah, don't.
The Nerf guns?
No, they're like...
Is there an actual gun?
It's not really.
It's an actual gun.
Can I pull that out?
I was gonna get something.
Don't do that and I'll start freaking out.
Dude, not even funny.
Welcome to Pulp Diction, the podcast where I talk about movies with my friends for an academic obligation.
Sweet, sweet love.
Owen is good. We're all good? Okay.
Owen is good, yeah.
I'm great.
Okay, we're good. Let me just recalibrate a second. This was so difficult. I made this so difficult for myself. Welcome back to the Pulp Diction podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Gibson, and we have, for the first time, three special guests on the podcast. Who am I here with?
Abby Stevens.
Declan Hutter.
Owen Castleberry.
All right, and who would like to introduce the film we are discussing today?
I think Declan should do it.
Me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so today we are watching the 1960 movie Eyes Without a Face by some French guy. Georges Francois or something like that.
It's a
Georges Francois. And it is it's a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the, probably the first body horror movie, I'd say, that I know of. And, kind of fits into that French New Wave style, but also with, a horror twist. Pretty cool.
Yeah. It is pretty cool. Declan is correct about the description. And just some context for everybody. Declan here is quite the film buff, probably more than I am.
Don't say that about yourself, Dylan.
No. I'm just saying. He's so he knows his stuff. Everyone here knows their
He's
stuff.
the brains, you're the
Except for me,
looks.
probably.
I am the looks.
He's the wild card.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can say that.
But yeah, it's very influential horror movie. You can see its influence even today in just this aesthetic, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
The white mask, I think, is pretty iconic. Even Michael Myers was inspired by it, John Carpenter has said. And so we all watched the movie, correct?
Correct.
Yes,
we did.
correct.
Okay.
Definitely not last minute at all.
Yeah, well, I've
for sure.
seen it before, but we did, and just watched it minutes before recording. So.
Yeah.
Had you seen it before, Abby?
Yeah, I rewatched it though last night, so ahead of the game.
Okay, I watched it last night too, for my first time actually, and I enjoyed it. It was very good. It kept surprising me, because they got away with a lot that I didn't think you could get away with. Even it is a European film, so you could do more than you could in America.
Right.
But even for 1960, it seemed very every time they went a certain length, I'd think, oh, they're not going to go any further.
Oh, yeah.
And then they went a little further. Just look at the surgery scene.
Yeah,
It's 5 minutes long,
and it's a constant, just it never really cuts away.
There's no soundtrack.
It's just the body horror.
Yeah,
And it's when you think they're gonna stop, they just keep going.
I know. I was genuinely shocked, and it's so cool. He does the scalpel, and you see the blood, and I'm like, okay, so that's what they're going to show. Now they're going to cut away. And they don't cut away. They keep showing the next steps. He's drawing. He's cutting away. Even, the peeling off the face was pretty gnarly. All the makeup effects.
Even just hearing about it, the sides of my face are, tingling. Do you got that? You guys have that?
No, it's definitely, it was shocking to me. I had seen it before, but I didn't remember the lengths that they go of just, and there's nowhere to hide from it, it's just it's the whole screen, so it's not you know, it's not like it's in the corner. It's not a reflection. It's just straight up the surgery.
Yeah, and I imagine like the idea of like gore in general is probably pretty new, and like literally 1960s.
Oh yeah.
So
Apparently it was like shocking at the time.
sure.
Like
It's
people
super
were
shocking.
fainting.
Because in America, actually, when they introduced the film, it had some, like, stupid name. It was not Eyes Without a Face, but it was a double feature with a movie called The Manster. And The Manster, it's a combination of Mon and Monster, and it was a little lower brow. I could imagine. I haven't seen it, though.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see like the
But, like,
original American dub of this movie.
Yeah, or even just imagine, like, being, like, that time in America, thinking you're seeing, like, I don't know, some, like,
some cheesy
monster
like
movie,
monster
B movie, like seeing some B movie, then seeing this, like, actual
and like
yeah.
it like horror that holds up to this day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like, I think not only like the horror of it, but just like it's just like eerie, like the entire time.
Just
you're
the
like,
vibe,
the
is...
dogs and the weird garage, like that was almost scarier to me than the surgery itself. Just like why, like this,
just
The
this
barking is like a
overarching
like,
sense
yeah.
of dread almost.
Yeah, definitely, and it just especially I'm sure for audience in the '60s before, you know, the mainstream horror had really taken form into like more like cerebral ideas. It was pretty, you know, like Abby had said, like the monster
new.
movie was pretty common. Like I just can't imagine being like 8 years old in 1960.
I would cut off my
And,
left
like-
arm to show a person from the 1960s Terrifier. Like, I imagine them, like,
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
They would just be vomiting.
Yeah,
like,
actually.
yeah. Just yeah.
making them watch all three back to back to back.
Little medieval peasant boy
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
actually no, that's like what
Brain
he
melting.
experiences on a daily basis, just the
True.
the
Honestly, yeah. I
mutilation.
wonder like where the like line is for it's like
When did
you
violence stop
you go
being
so
normal?
back where it's like
Yeah.
if you show like a Mongolian soldier this in like the like
He'll like
Chinese
he'll be,
dynasty era,
start
it's like
clapping.
yeah, like he's not gonna care, you know.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be more confused by why there's a giant head like
Yeah.
10 feet in front of him on
And
like.
why the people who are doing
Why does
the
the soldier
killing
have to
are
be
white.
Mongolian?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good question. Definitely.
Well, I was just thinking of like Genghis Khan, you know, like the most
Mhm.
brutal armies.
Uh-huh. Right.
Interesting.
Is there a stereotype of
Yeah, is there a
what?
stereotype about Mongolia
Violent
being
Asian
violent? I was just like
people?
trying to think of like a violent era in history.
Violent people, yeah. I don't know, but
Do you got a soundboard?
so I got a little something on deck just in case, you know, I got a
When you're
That's tough.
this is another gift from my uncle.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out Steven Gibson. I don't think he watches these.
friend of the pod.
Maybe
yeah,
not.
friend of the pod.
friend of the,
Friend of the
huge friend
pod. Much like Noah Stevens,
Much
Noah
like
Stevens.
Noah Stevens.
who provided us with that terrifying AI video.
I thought you really recorded that, Dylan.
No,
that was you, Dylan.
it was not.
I
You're
don't know
telling me
what
that
he's
was
using
AI?
that AI
It was
for.
completely AI. It was
Yeah.
completely manufactured. It was AI. Do any of you know how disturbing and weird it is to hear a computer talk in your voice?
You know,
No.
Dylan,
Because
can't
I
say
do. Because I do. It's very
Well,
weird.
Landon Selden's next. So
Yeah.
if you see this,
Watch
Landon,
out, Landon.
If you see this, which I don't know if you will, but you're next.
He
And
will.
not only the voice, the body too.
Oh,
I don't know
We're
what she's
making
talking
no
about.
Landon
Yeah,
dolls.
yeah.
we're scanning his feet like Hideo Kojima style.
True.
Yeah, new Pulp Diction merch, Landon Selden dolls on the way.
Life size.
Yeah, life-size Landon Selden. Well, a
Body
life-size
colors?
Landon Selden doll is just
Yeah.
still a doll, you know.
Yeah.
Our many fans are
Yeah.
not going to know who Landon Selden is, but they don't have
We'll
to.
put a picture out, maybe.
We'll put a
Yeah,
picture up. I
picture
can
of
do that.
Pookie up.
I can do that.
on-
Pookie.
All right.
Anyway, how about Eyes Without a Face, huh?
Forgot about that movie.
His face is kind of like the mask a little bit. Like, picture it.
Let's not bully our
Landon?
I'm not
lovely
bullying,
boy.
he
Yeah,
just
why are we
has-
using this?
No, he has
platform to
perfect
bully
skin.
people?
It's not bullying.
He's
He has
perfect
perfect
skin.
skin.
Yeah, I definitely thought like the mask kind of got into some of those like I've heard people say online like the kind of like uncanny valley when she's wearing the mask because it is very realistic. Like at
Yeah.
first you're kind of like, what the hell? You
But
know,
like it's obviously like off. Just
yeah,
that
it's
uncanny
obviously
valley.
yeah.
And like I don't know, it has that weird blank emotionless feel, which
Mhm.
again
Michael
was
Myers, yeah.
an inspiration for Michael Myers. But it's kind of fascinating to me, like this whole theme of masks and identity in the movie.
Uh-huh.
Because like she wears a mask, she's kind of covering up what's underneath.
Mhm.
And you know it's this scary image that she presents to the world, but underneath, like as you see at the end, she's probably one of the only good people, the only good person of the main like three characters.
Yeah. I thought it was also interesting, your point with the mask, because even if she were to get the face, she's still wearing a mask in a sense, because like she'll never get her actual face back.
Right, like when she does briefly, she's like, it just doesn't.
It doesn't work.
It feels like I'm looking in the mirror. It feels like someone else.
Yeah, and like I also thought that was really cool, of like the skin rotting off her face.
Yeah, that was. Again, with the makeup, like that was
just,
genuinely...
The makeup is great throughout the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, me and Declan were going through, and we were kind of, like, pointing out, like, plot holes, like, or, like, where we thought would be a plot hole, but it just ended up, I think they tied it up pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and also the choice to have the camera out of focus as, like, the girl's waking up to seeing her face.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart.
I thought that was really smart, also because, like, I mean, obviously, the makeup was great already, but like having that blurred kind of also gave it another like layer of plausibility.
Yeah, like the way they did it at first, like just not showing it for the longest time.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's a cool way they're getting past the censors, and also just like in a way it's more terrifying to like leave it up to the imagination.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, that sense of dread, just imagining what the hell is wrong with her.
Yeah.
And then you finally get to see it, and it's just, like, in focus enough that you can tell, oh, she is messed up. But it's, like, blurred enough that you can still be, like... I mean, it's, like, a little bit left to interpretation.
Yeah, it's a little distorted.
I mean, you can definitely see that in modern horror tropes. Like, I think it is scarier to not show something entirely than,
Right.
show it completely.
Right. Yeah, I think you kind of see that even in writing, too. Like... books like The Shining, like Stephen King is a big person of leaving things up to the imagination.
I mean, because like when you have, sorry for interrupting, but when you have like something that has like, I don't know, could be literally anything. Obviously, like when it all comes down to one thing, it's like too definite. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, well, like when you're left to like fill in the blanks for yourself, you're gonna kind of like project your own fears into it and your own like perceptions and stuff, and that honestly makes it scarier than like some universally objectively scary face, you know.
It kind of reminded me of like the final shot of it's like Skinamarink of like that like face that's like hidden behind all the grain. Did you ever watch
I need to get around to it.
It's a great one.
Great.
I also thought, you know, is interesting how, especially for the 60s, the subversion of like the typical like horror tropes of like in relation to like the father being in on it, of like the daughter who's missing, because I mean at the beginning it kind of seems like a cut and dry like oh like
it's such a good opening.
This woman's like dumping this body into the river later, and they find it and they bring the father in, and he confirms like, oh, like
that's my kid,
she's dead. And you're kind of like, but then, you know, minutes later you see the woman who killed
at the funeral,
the daughter,
like shaking
like
hands
that we
with
think
people.
killed the daughter, with the father at the funeral, and then the way they're talking, you kind of know something's up, but it's not clear until they go back to the house and go back to the house and see the actual daughter. I thought that was really interesting, kind of like in the same vein of, you know, Hitchcock's Psycho, where the subversion of the typical like family
like
unit,
they switch it up like halfway through
which
the
I think
movie.
was also probably shocking in its own way
absolutely.
in the 60s.
I mean, single parent, yeah.
What?
He was a single parent.
Oh,
we got Jerry Seinfeld in the studio.
I mean,
what's the deal with single
parent.
parents? Am I
what's
right?
the deal?
He was a single parent.
I mean, he was, you know, rock on single dads.
Right.
But
friends to the pod too. If you're a single dad, you want to be on the podcast.
Hey, if you're in this far, code word single dad in the comment
Yeah.
section, and
There you go.
Dylan will give you a kiss at
what
school.
is it?
Or
I will
in
not.
public.
I will not give you a kiss in
Do you have a
public.
sponsorship from
Only
like
in private.
like a what's the
NordVPN.
food subscription? Yeah.
What DoorDash? What?
Help HelloFresh.
Yeah, HelloFresh. Use code single dad for
Do
$3.
not use code single dad. There are no
You should make
sponsorships.
single dad merch.
Yeah, make.
I don't
Pulp
have
Diction
enough-
merch.
That's what you call your fans.
I don't
Single dads.
dads.
What's up, single dads out there? I mean, honestly, that's who would be listening to a film podcast if we're gonna be.
I mean, true. The majority of my fans are people from school, like Connor Smith, who was on the last episode. Go check it out.
Jonker.
No, not the last episode. 2 episodes ago.
What was the last episode?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, cool. I need to watch.
Excellent show. But like Connor Smith, Noah Stevens. I don't know how or why
Don't
it
name
started.
drop, dude.
Okay.
Name drop it. It's like you have
Noah
a Bjork
Stevens is
stalker
like
on your
it's like
hand.
Fatal Attraction. You know what I'm talking about? It's
He's trying to single white female you. Like he wants your life. It's like I would be careful.
Are there any
Okay.
like nicknames that Noah goes by that we'd like to like shout out?
Yeah, if you see Noah Stevens in the hallway at school,
Call him Josh.
don't
Call
be
him
afraid.
Josh.
Please call
Hey,
him
what's
Josh.
up, Josh?
We'll put a picture up of him right here.
Yeah, that's Josh.
That's
right.
Josh Stevens.
He's gonna blow his.
You guys are.
He's gonna flip his top.
This is so many people, like all like 5 people that actually watch this are not going to know what this is
Don't
about.
sell yourself short, though.
Yeah.
Okay, my fault.
I watched this.
The people aren't ready for it.
I watched
you-
the Jonker episode.
You watched the Jonker?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for watching the Jonker
Of course.
episode.
I had to. I had to see what the 2 greatest minds of high school had to say. And that's not sarcastic.
See what all
You
the
both are
fuss
very
was about.
smart, so-
The
Aw,
2
thank
greatest
you.
minds at high school would be Dylan recording a podcast with himself, where he's both the interviewer and the interviewee.
True. That's just the
You
Sopranos
should
episode.
interview yourself.
Maybe I should. I'll do like the... Did Mr. Beast do that? I feel like he
Probably.
did.
Mr. Beast is like our version of Homelander, honestly. I feel like
He
he's
is.
gotta be evil. and,
He's
like,
so... He's not... He's
the
so
video
evil.
of him like not being able to take criticism for the chocolate bar.
With Tommy in it?
Yeah, it's like, yeah. He's like, I think it's really good. I don't know. It's
What
All
don't
right.
you like about it?
yeah. All right,
It's like
let's
this movie.
yeah. Just
Good
like this
segue.
movie. What
Good
don't you
segue.
like about this movie? Am I right?
Sorry, I had to applaud this. It just keeps going. I applaud the segue real quick. So, how about this movie? Yeah, I really like that opening. Like you were talking about how it raises a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Like, who's this woman? Who's this body? Why is she burying the body? Getting rid of the body.
Right.
Sorry. What's she doing with the dad at the funeral? What is going on?
Yeah.
And like this movie's opening, like a lot of good openings, just it raises a lot of questions
Right.
like that, and just immediately draws you in.
Definitely. And like just how stylish it is from the very
Oh,
opening
yeah,
scene. The
like-
black gloves, the black trench coat. It's just so like
The rear view mirror
Yeah,
shot, which
it's
I
just-
thought was so
I mean,
ahead of its
yeah,
time.
you see that in like Taxi Driver. Like
It's
it's
almost
just
a
like
little noir-y. No,
yeah, there
I
are
think it
definitely
is-
some noir
there's a lot
elements
of
in
noir
there.
elements.
I think that's also just like aspects of French New Wave
Yeah.
kind of like bleed into like American noir.
Right.
But I think like just like the style of like a French noir horror is just so like interesting. Like the just having horror in that style. I don't know. It's just like it's a cool subversion because I mean usually French noirs are like little like crime, like low stakes like crime films, but in this it's just like such a bigger like story than that.
Right. Yeah, totally. And just the lack of dialogue too at the beginning, like
Yeah.
just all this visual storytelling. Like it's a
True.
foreign movie, but I knew exactly what was happening without
Right.
any subtitles or anything. I mean, it's cinema's a universal language almost.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that it kind of carries that like. It carries that visual storytelling even with the dialogue, like as it goes on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think it's always a very visual film, no matter what. I don't.
I
think,
mean, like, when you have her face covered up, you kind of gotta make it. Like, even with her body language, she just looks
yeah,
like
and a lot of physical
depressed.
acting.
And,
Right?
yeah, I don't know the actress's name, but she's, like, the amount she could do with just her eyes, honestly.
Yeah.
But on it,
Very,
like,
yeah.
covering your face already, like, you already look, like, shameful and depressed. Like, think about covering your face, like, hood in your hands, like...
You should
I
start
don't know,
doing
it's
that
kinda
at
easy.
school.
I do that at school. At lunch, I don't sit with people. I sit alone on Earth.
That's actually true.
It's actually
Is
not
it?
true.
Yeah, she sits up by herself on B days.
It's
Oh,
not true.
okay.
Is this thing on? That's not true.
Don't touch my microphone.
Yeah,
My
don't-
bad.
Don't touch the
Don't get your
microphone.
It won't happen
your
again.
grimy little
Try
paws.
one.
Yeah, you're out of here.
This is kind of random, but like we were talking about the surgery scene earlier and how it was like 5 minutes long. Why do you think they included like all 5 minutes of that? Like, was it just to be as shocking as possible, or could there have been like, I don't know, something like they were really trying to bring a point home?
They were just really trying to bring it home because they have like so much of the movie dancing around it, all the emotion, and then you see it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's because honestly the like theme is still kind of relevant. Like you see women today getting botched surgeries trying to fix them, and it's disgusting. And that's why the doctor's evil. He's preying on these older women who are trying to rejuvenate their bodies.
They're younger women.
No, when he gives the speech, there's like two like middle-aged ladies that come up to him.
They're not middle. Those were they middle-aged?
I would say so.
I'd say
looked
like 30
elderly.
max.
I mean, they're definitely on the decline. No hate.
They're
mean,
just French at it.
Used car lot.
Yeah, this is how like French.
They just smoked so
18-year-olds
much
look, yeah.
cigarettes.
No.
They were actually 28.
I get what you mean though. Like he's literally preying on young girls in the film, but in his like career, he's like rejuvenating people.
Yeah, I think the idea of vanity is definitely like a big part of the film, and like kind of like the deconstruction of like a human's face. I think is kind of what that scene like lends itself to, like this idea of like, because especially with like femininity, it's like like self-image is a big aspect of that culture.
I
and
mean,
I think
when you teach young girls that it's like you'll get it. No,
You'll get it.
No, you'll get.
I'll get it.
No, Mr. Morrison will talk to you about it in IB philosophy, where like young boys, they're told like their bravery, their strength, their smarts, all things that get like stronger with age. Those are their like strong points. But when you put your strong point on something as vain as like how your face looks, it's like obviously you're gonna get depressed to get old.
I mean, yeah, but I think that the point that I was trying to make is, you know, like being forced to like kind of confront the realities of like upkeeping such like a polished image, like with the faces and stuff. I think being forced to confront that, kind of like seeing how the sausage is made, it kind of gives you like a more like nuanced sense of, you know, the not just like the beauty industry, because I don't really think the point is a critique on the beauty industry, but I think like sort of like a critique on like the like obsession with vanity in culture.
Yeah.
But I didn't think French women had that. Like they let their armpit hair grow out and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, so do you, but we don't.
No, I don't have a. But saying it now on the pod, I don't have hairy armpits.
Owen had a good point.
Does he want to say it himself or no?
No, I was trying to give him the platform too.
Yeah.
Owen had a good point of like just being like, I forget exactly what it was, but I remember we were watching the scene like, and you were just talking about how long it goes on, but like how like you couldn't look away.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know. It's just like so like. At first, when he was like drawing the face, you kind of think that they were cutting, and then it's the first layer, it's the scalpel, and then again with like the scissors, it's just like it wouldn't stop.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like they show every detail of this graphic, horrific process, and I think they really just want to show you like how disgusting and gruesome like what he's doing is.
Yeah,
and like just these lengths that he's willing to go, and how calm he is too, like doing this awful thing.
Yeah.
Something I thought was a little silly was like how much he was sweating.
Yeah,
was, like,
we were laughing
like profuse.
Like the Jordan Peele sketch.
Yeah, like I mean, like I think, but it was also a little funny because he wasn't being very surgical with it. At some point, he just kind of gave up and just like slicing along the bottom, just like.
I liked the way he did the pencil, and like the line didn't even match up on the other side.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I think I think that's intentional with like his obsession. He kind of like loses sight of what's happening in front of him for like this idea, the end goal, and also like all the stuff with like the skin grafts with the dogs was like
like at what point does the love for his daughter become more of an obsession with like his craft?
Like being able to like perfect something, you know. I mean obviously his assistant, we know, had like a scar and he was able to fix that, but I think, you know, it kind of ties into that like honestly, and it could be a self-reflection of the director himself, like kind of that like tenacity to like keep pushing yourself toward like this like ultimate goal of perfection, like losing yourself along the way, losing your humanity along the way. Right,
like his daughter's not really his reason for doing it. It's more of an excuse,
right,
to like do these crazy experiments. Because the doctor, he has this like this almost uncontrollable, insatiable desire for control over everything.
Right.
Like his daughter says like he just wants to control all the traffic on the road, and that's how they got into the accident. Like he's just being like he's driving like a dick. And you know, in every aspect of life, like he's just trying to control it. Like all the dogs and the birds, he's caging them up, And I think that's why his daughter felt such a strong connection to the animals, because she was just as caged up as they were.
Yeah. I also think the title is interesting because the times we see the Doctor at his most, like, heinous, like, you know, his face is covered with a mask, but we see his eyes.
The eyes, yeah.
Like,
the gateway into the
yeah, like, the eyes without a face goes both ways, you know? Because he's kind of also losing the mask of, like, humanity for... kind of going back to that point of, like, losing his own humanity, losing his mask of being a human for his craft.
I thought it was also interesting, like, the same thing he was doing for his daughter, he was perpetuating onto, like, other women.
Mm-hmm.
So
they didn't have a face. So
at
like,
the end, so it's like, I don't know, it just shows how selfish the Doctor was. Like, he clearly... It was much less of a moral thing than it was, like, a personal, like, obsession.
Right. Just, like, mad scientist, like, I can do this thing that no one's ever done before, and it'll be awesome. I don't know, just making waves in the science community, I guess.
Hey,
a little bit of
Frankensteinian.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of Frankensteinian, because she kills him.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, technically, with, like, releasing the dogs.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Like, the way
the final scene was so sick.
It's immaculate. Like, the way he's just torn apart by the dogs. And, like, his face afterwards. Like, it was some Walking Dead type.
Yeah. Like, and the way it was shot, too, was so modern. Like, it was just,
the whole movie.
The whole movie, but, like, especially that final scene where there's, like, these, like really gritty close-ups on the dogs, like bearing down on him.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so, like, the anger in the shot was just, like, insane. Like, capturing that, like, raw emotion.
Oh, totally. And, like, I wanted to ask something. Yeah, so... I mean, I just thought it was really interesting, just all the way she frees all the dogs and the birds at the end. Like, and she's, you know, surrounded by them. One of them is, like, on her shoulder or something. And I feel like it's kind of a symbolic of just her... She gives them their freedom, she gains her own. And, like, the dogs are... Like, they have a more violent nature. They turn on their own, like, owner. But or owner or captor, I guess you could say. And then the birds or doves or whatever they were, like, they're more like purity, I guess. Would be my theory. I don't know. Do you think what do you think that it meant?
I mean, even if, you know, the lady's a dove or a dog, she doesn't deserve to be experimented on.
True.
Yeah, I think it, you know, we see the dogs as kind of like, even when they're not tearing the guy apart, they're sort of, you know, viciously, like, barking in their cells.
Yeah.
And we see the doves and they're just so innocent. It shows that, like, not only, like, you know, he's doing it to all creatures. It's not like a fair trade-off, you know? It's not like he's experimenting on these, like, beasts. He's also experimenting on these, like, creatures that are literally defenseless. Kind of like her, like... I think, like, what Abby said, it kind of shows, like, how she can be like the dogs, but she can also be like the doves.
Oh, yeah, totally. But it's really interesting, too, because, like, he's not like, he's obviously a bad person, but, like, he's not completely evil. Like, he's doing it out of love, supposedly. And, like, you see his bedside manner with some of his patients, like the little boy. He's so nice to this kid. And I think that just small scene added a lot of complexity to the character.
Yeah. I think that's also, like, kind of new for the time of, like, not having a completely, like, black and white evil character.
Yeah.
Having that kind of shade of gray where he's like, you can understand to a certain extent where he's coming from.
You could even argue he was, like, the protagonist for most of the movie.
Yeah.
At
least the main character.
Yeah, the main character, definitely. It was so uncommon at the time to have just a morally gray individual be the focus like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of see it in, like, some of, like, the contemporary, like, Kurosawa films of the time where kind of, like, the, like, idea of, like, the, you know, anti-hero. But I wouldn't say he's an anti-hero here. I would definitely say, you know, he is acting selfishly, but it's based from a place of possibly goodness. It's kind of, you know, it's up to the viewer to decide that, I think.
Right. So there was one scene, like, this... I don't want to say blink and you miss it, because they made sure it stood out. When they were burying it was one of the bodies. I can't remember which one. They were at the graveyard. He's got the pickaxe, and she looks up and sees an airplane in the sky. I've been like racking that through my brain like since I watched it last night. I'm like, what does the airplane mean?
It has to mean something.
Honestly, now I'm thinking like a connection to the doves, like an artificial. It's like an artificial bird, and what he's doing to rejuvenate people. It's like artificial, but I don't know if that quite makes sense.
Like an
I
kind of get it. Like it's white, a white winged creature.
Yeah.
But like artificial, like you said.
Right.
Defying nature, I guess. But
yeah, I think it definitely leans into more of that, like going against the bounds of nature. Like his daughter's not supposed to have her face back, but at the same time, there's not supposed to be cars. If you think about it, like
right.
Which kind of,
the cars looked kind of crazy, the way they open.
Yeah,
the doors open.
I mean, I guess it's a French thing.
I guess so.
Honestly, to expand on, like, your thing of, like unnatural things, like, the plane also, like, I feel like typically when you imagine progress, you're going from left to right.
It was going right to left.
Which I thought was interesting.
That's a good point.
But continue, sorry, before
I
rudely cut Declan off.
No.
Freak out on
I mean, Abby was talking about it.
I mean, my best theory, like, up to this point, I wrote down, I'm like, maybe, I don't know if it represents, like, God or an angel or what, just, like, from something from the heavens, almost watching and passing judgment. I kind of like yours more, though. But
I mean, also just something kind of escaping,
Yeah.
Like, someone being able to travel, being able to move, it just goes against what he's doing. Maybe he thinks about his daughter being on that plane, or what he's doing to the creatures, keeping them in captivity, and like especially that idea of the doves. Like, doves are supposed to fly. Like, you can't you can't
just keep them caged
a
up.
dove. You can't cage an airplane. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, except like the airplane's, it's not escaping; it's moving right to left.
Yeah,
rather it's going further.
It has the
And
freedom
about
to move.
That, honestly, though, with the right to left thing, which I didn't even think about, it's like, imagine the pilot. The pilot is responsible for all the people on the plane. And in a way, the dad is responsible for the daughter's life. And obviously something has gone horribly wrong. They're like where they
That's
are.
true, actually, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't know about all that.
I forget, how did the daughter get in an accident again? Was it
it was the
car
dad
crash?
was driving, I think.
Yeah, it was the dad was driving. They don't really like explicitly
how did she
tell you.
only
They
get her
kind of-
face cut off?
They kind of imply it.
And did the mom just have a normal death? Or was that something fishy
I don't think
too?
they ever mentioned the mom.
Oh, yeah, they don't
Maybe they
They
did.
mentioned that she died. They say something where it's like how hard he's lost his like wife and his daughter, like so close.
It's probably.
Yeah, it's probably more about guilt than anything. Like the daughter.
Guilt is
like,
a
his daughter,
huge theme in the
He's
movie.
trying to save his daughter. He couldn't save his wife,
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Ooh, true.
Is what I got from that, at least. And I don't know if I was reading too much into this, but also I think there is definitely some like World War II tie-ins, maybe, possibly, just because of the timing. I mean, like I said, I might be reading too much into this, but kind of like the caging of the German shepherds. Just like kind of like how France kind of had to keep Germany under watch, but that also might be.
I don't know. I was like reading a little bit, and I saw a lot of like things saying like it's kind of an allegory for like the like post World War II era, where like the scarring of her face is representative of like France as a whole after
like they were
losing their
permanently
identity,
affected by the
Yeah.
Germans. Yeah.
I guess like even like the plane, you could argue.
You
is,
could
like,
argue has something to do with like maybe the
Like,
bombing,
and the theme of progress too.
going backwards, being regressive.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think, kind of France building itself up, we see her get a new face, but it kind of rotting away.
Yeah.
Society, like we kind of see that in like the Italian neorealism too, like the rebuilding from the war, like the cracks aren't completely filled, and like the structure of the country itself is kind of unsturdy going on from that point.
Yeah, and just back to her face, not quite exactly about the war, but also just like, I like what someone said about identity, like French people and their identity, and it's like her face rotting away. It's like when there's a separation between identity and who you are, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Like the ideal of like
the
decorum
idea,
and class.
yeah.
And it's like what he says in the lecture near the beginning, like the body rejects this outside material.
Yeah.
Like it
Right.
it rejects this thing because it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
what do you
think
do when you are
like
the
that.
other?
Going back to that idea of progress, it's kind of like, I think there's sort of this idea of like the classy like French person, you know, like in media, portrayed in media, like the Looney Tunes skunk or whatever. But like
Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, but
That'd be a crazy pull, honestly. Knowing the name.
But I think, you know, kind of like honestly like losing some of that dignity after, you know, surrendering in World War II, maybe like possibly kind of like
Ties
that,
back into the shame stuff.
Yeah, that the shame, wearing a mask, but also just the people in the 60s. I mean, it was called the rebellious 60s for a reason. The people kind of moving in a different direction from, because I mean, in the 70s you get like the like French ultra violence and stuff like that, which I think, you know, this film is kind of moving towards. Just like that rejection of like the cultural norms for them, the rejection of the face, I guess, you know, like they're scarred but they don't want a band-aid for it. They want to like they want to acknowledge their past, you know,
Like
what I
the
mean?
scars are who they are.
Yeah,
like
it's what makes it's their identity at this point, not their face.
yeah, like what does she say? My face frightens me. My mask frightens me even more.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to put on a mask. They don't want to hide it.
Right, because I mean, she really only puts on the mask, like, she has the mask off every time we see her by herself. It's the caretakers we see come bring her the mask for her to put on, because they don't want to look at it. They don't want to acknowledge the past.
They say they're doing it for her,
Yeah.
but like...
the father just does not want to be reminded of his own, like, accident, you know?
Yeah, because it's his failure, really.
Yeah, ultimately, it's he's trying to fix the things he did.
I will say that felt transgressive, too. Just, like, how, like, directly she was like, I want to kill myself. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that one girl did kill herself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, suicide was definitely
Dude,
not
that
the
was
most...
tense. That scene where it's, like, silent and she's running through the house.
Yeah.
Like, the absence of sound in this movie
Yeah.
is so good.
It's so effective.
Especially contrasted by, like, the yelping of the dogs.
Yeah.
I was a little confused, like, why she screamed if she was committing suicide.
Yeah, I think it was...
Well, they say when you jump, you, like, regret it right away.
True. Yeah.
That's what some of them
I don't
say.
know. But, like, that's like one of my
I mean,
nitpicky-
some of them might really want to, I don't know, some of them might not regret it.
Yippee!
Yeah.
No,
Look out below.
Edna. Dude,
that was the guy's name.
No, the guy's name was Jacques. Edna was the
Jacques.
first girl they kidnapped.
Oh.
And I honestly wish they would have touched a little more on Jacques, because that was one of my favorite scenes, too, when she, like, sneaks a phone call with them, and she's like, keep talking.
She just goes, Jacques.
Jacques, keep talking. What? Who is this? And then, like, bam, hang up. I don't know. I just love a good telephone conversation in a movie.
You know, the one thing that I didn't love about this film, I feel like it was kind of bogged down by that, like, weird police side story.
Yeah.
It
But
was
honestly,
just,
they
like,
kept with the themes of, like, pretty women are valued more, because they're like, just let her go home, but get her address.
Yeah, true. And
Yeah.
like, keep her at... Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I just think from like an attention span point of view, it's already a short movie.
It stops the pacing in its tracks.
The movie's like things
It's
are happening,
well-paced,
and then
yeah.
it's just like the police thing. Like every time it cut back to that, I was just always waiting for it to get back to the
Right.
mansion. Which
And
I
you
think,
can't even
know,
look at your
yeah.
phone either, because then you'll miss the subtitles.
Yeah, like the yeah.
Real.
There's no missing.
That's why
any
I had
subtitles
text to
while-
speech.
Oh no. Oh no, we definitely did not miss any subtitles.
No.
With text to speech open, is that what you said?
On the subtitles, yeah. If I'm gonna look at my phone.
Why not?
What was I just... Oh, the one aside from that, one of the main gripes I had was, I liked the music in the opening credits. This, like, the weird, like, circus-y type, scary clown-type music. I'm like, okay, this is kind of neat. I like the vibe. And then they kept playing it. Every time this woman was out in public, they played this stupid circus music. And it got pretty old pretty fast.
That's my problem with, like, a lot of, like, film scores is, like, especially in, like, this era of, like, if it's not strings, it's always just, like, horrible, usually.
Yeah.
I mean, with the only exception I can think of is, like, Women in the Dunes. But, like, there's a crazy, just, like, tribal, like, drum, like, the entire time that's, like, awesome. But I think, like, you kind of see it in, like, House, too, with, like, that annoying score, that, like, grating score, that just, like, makes me want to, like, I don't know. But, yeah, that definitely got on my nerves, too.
I think it's honestly because there wasn't any, like, tropes for what, like, horror music should be at the time.
That's very
I
true.
mean, like, there's nothing that was before it that could have like set that precedent for like, what music.
And then Psycho came out and everyone copied it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Psycho's an example of a perfect score, though, so you can't really
yeah.
hold a candle to that. I mean, yeah, I definitely think the sound design itself was good, of like the dogs and then the silence, but just that music, man, just took me out. Like every single time, I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, there were like 2 tracks in the whole movie. There was like, the theme for What's Her Face and the theme for Christiane. That was her name, right? The daughter. Yeah.
Just wait, I don't even know. It's just not.
Is goofy. I looked up the composer and he did like something else super recognized. He has like he has something like crazy new. I forget what it is, but it was like something you would not expect him to do after that.
Now I'm curious.
Joker.
Infinity War. No.
Infinity War. Yeah.
There's a couple movies, but like I don't know how good like that black and white grain has. I don't know if that's ever looked as good as in this movie. Like
I know the black and white does so much.
It's so like it couldn't be in color. You know, it's so. Just like the textures are great, like especially the grain. It was like the perfect amount where it wasn't like lo-fi. It was just like artistic and like it just kind of like this is a weird word, but like kind of like jazzy. I don't know. Like it just kind of like was like this like kind of like Jim Jarmusch. I know he came much later, but like it just reminded me of like I was like watching like a French Jim Jarmusch movie.
Yeah.
That's an interesting comparison actually.
Like Stranger Than Paradise, that kind of grain.
Yeah.
It's just like every shot kind of looked like a painting. I felt like.
Oh yeah.
There were times where I had to like take a double take.
The cinematography is excellent.
I was looking to see if the background was a painting, but then you see the characters walk behind
Especially when he like ran out in the driveway and there's like that tree.
Yeah,
the tree.
I was
like,
the graveyard scene with like the 3 trees and like the 3 tombstones.
Yeah.
And they're like walking up to the car.
And you turned to me at one point during the surgery where it was just the nurse and a black wall, and you were like, if this was in one of our short films, it would be the best shot. And it's just like a throwaway shot in that movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like insane. Like the like image construction is crazy.
It's so good. Just everything about it. The just how it's constructed, like you said, the set design behind it, and like just the way everything is composed is immaculate. What?
The lab.
Yeah. And man,
that scene was so terrifying when the girl wakes up and she just sees Christine or whatever, like just in the room, just like staring at her, like it's like Poughkeepsie tape level.
Like she screams, and I'm like, man, like a lot of the time when you see someone scream in a horror movie, you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, yeah,
not being able
that's
to
fair.
move and just having someone with like no face and like wide eyes just staring at you, like
her face almost reminded me of the aliens in They Live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, John Carpenter was inspired for Halloween, so I'm sure he took inspiration for that, too. I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. They should have said that.
Honestly,
like
in the movie.
The 8-minute fight scene in that is awesome.
It's so good.
I love
gosh.
that movie. Oh, my God. I could do a Pulp Diction about that movie.
Yeah, I'll put it on the list.
But yeah, I just think, you know, I really, honestly, I was kind of like, after we had like assigned it for film club, I was a little just like, I don't know, like I've seen this before, it was okay, it's just a classic. But I mean, watching it, I really was like, wow, this, like, there's a reason it's a classic, you know? It's definitely,
it's earned its status.
Yeah. Like, so influential.
But at the same time, I feel like it's so influential, but at the same time, it's so underrated.
Yeah.
Like, I Google it. Every time I Google Eyes Without a Face, if I don't, are you good?
Yeah, can I get a cough break real quick?
Yeah. Can I get you a cup of water or something?
Oh, no. I'm good. I just needed to get it out.
Jeez.
Okay. What was I? Yeah, every time you Google this movie or YouTube or any search, like, it'll always be the Billy Idol song unless you specifically put, like, 1960 or movie or the French title, whatever it is. And now you got me in it.
My bad.
God damn it, Anna.
It's just pneumonia.
Yeah, it's just
great.
HIV.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which is, you can pass for cough.
Ebola.
AIDS is airborne now.
Ebola.
AIDS is airborne.
Bring back Ebola, honestly. I haven't heard of it.
You need to come back.
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox is
Ebola puts like a happy little like nostalgic smile on my face. Better times, like 5th grade.
Like, I miss when like the sickness was in like never mind.
Okay.
No, but
when
also,
the sickness was in a different continent, that's what it's
I think
meant.
sickness belongs in third world countries. It's just a part of them.
Okay.
But it's not a
Famine. It's like the king of comedy, dude. Actually, the Joker. Ma'am, knock knock, your son is dead. By the way, do not watch Joker 2. It's horrible. If you like the
is
first
so
one,
awful.
do not watch.
I forgot you guys watched that. I was going to ask about
Absolute
it.
ass, dude. Like,
Really?
it's not
Lady Gaga
good.
is like, I'm not a little monster, but I like some of her songs, but she cannot act. to
Really?
save her life.
Dude, I wanted it to be good so bad.
I just think they
too.
needed to give her a more either unhinged character or more normal character and not whatever the hell was going on.
Yeah.
She was
Really?
just playing Lady Gaga.
Aw, that
Yeah.
sucks. I
Like-
thought they were going to give her, like, just let her play a freak. You know?
Not really. She's just kind of like, she's pretty reserved the entire time.
Yeah.
She kind of just like, it's like if Harley
It's
Quinn was
actually
like off Galaxy Gas. Like, she's just like nonchalant. Like, I don't know.
Alpha female.
Which, Dylan, we were promised Galaxy Gas. before
Yeah,
the
where's
show.
the
We
Galaxy
were not
gas,
promised
buddy.
Galaxy Gas. I do
Galaxy
not
gas and
condone.
fentanyl.
I do not condone.
Where's the fen at?
The fen down the hall to the left. Go ask.
Go ask my dad where
Go
it
ask-
is.
Yeah, go ask my dad. Go ask Tucker.
Tucker's on the Galaxy Gas right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's all over that stuff.
I need the passion fruit mango right now.
Do you know the
Does it come in
actual
flavors?
flavor names?
Yeah, it comes in flavors.
That's
the
crazy.
Whole,
Like,
that's
it's
the whole
like
point.
what?
point.
Like they. Well, no. I mean, like it's crazy that they're making it in flavors because like you're just
Well,
selling
flavored
it.
whipped cream.
Is that a thing?
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that's
what
what
it's for.
Galaxy Gas
Yeah,
is.
Pumping
yeah,
whipped
it's like
cream.
the stuff
And
what
if
at
you,
the bottom of the can or something.
and let's just say, if you don't want to hang out with Blueberry Cloud, you can't hang out with me.
What?
Another flavor.
Okay. Why do you know
Are we
the
name
flavors?
dropping Galaxy Gas flavors, dude? Are you sponsored or something?
Yeah.
Pulp Diction is not sponsored by Galaxy Gas.
Why not? Make it happen.
Yeah, make it
No,
happen.
do not make it
Pulp
happen.
Diction is sponsored by Blue Chew.
He didn't say it wasn't
Half the
sponsored.
episode is getting scrapped now.
So how about Eyes Without a Face, you guys?
Honestly, I love the way water
It's like
looks in black
eyes
and
without a
white.
face is like Dylan without a Blue Chew. Am I right?
What is a blue chew?
You don't know who Blue Chew is?
No.
Oh,
You might have to cut all
Dylan, you
this
gotta
out.
keep this in.
It's boner pills. It's like generic Viagra.
I see. I'm keeping that in. I'm keeping that in.
Okay,
Great.
shout out Blue Chew.
I'm
Shout
allowed.
out for Dylan, not me.
Before we wrap up our consensus, what was everybody's favorite shots?
Dude,
Good
oh
question.
my gosh.
Honestly, just that one where she's like lying face down, like on her ground, where it's like it's like a scene, but like when it's like on her bed, and then it goes down and she's on the floor.
Oh yeah.
There's. You go ahead.
Mine was the train,
Power
like the
of
train going by.
Train.
With the car at the same time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just
It was like
really
a
cool shot.
transition shot.
There's like that theme again of like modern transportation.
true.
like
I think it was
plane.
also going from right to left.
I think it was just going from like I guess technically right to left, but it was kind of just going forward.
I guess so, but I mean,
Yeah, you get it.
same thing.
I think there was a scene where they were coming to like again a train stop, but like the things came down. Like I don't know what they're called, but the things that like stop you from going onto the tracks when there's a train coming.
Yeah.
It like zoomed in like under the train to where like the car was, and just the way the lights looked were like great, and that was probably my favorite.
Yeah. Dude, now I'm thinking, I'm like, I should have paid more attention to the shots in this movie. I was thinking more about like the writing and everything. But just like some of the ones that come to mind, I liked the ones where she was like interacting with the dog in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the ones we've talked about, like the surgery, the plane, her face. Also, I thought the shot of the girl who killed herself was cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
when
like,
it's
yeah, out
kissing.
Yeah, I thought that part was
Glorifying
really
I
Suicide's
actually
pretty
started
cool.
clapping.
No.
Suicide is badass.
I like the one part where it was the girl who did kill herself, but she was still alive. It was like a really tight close up of her face with all bandages, but her
Yeah.
eyes, like the terror in her eyes, was so like
palpable.
yeah, it was crazy.
Back to that shot you're talking about with her, like the dog, like hugging the dog.
Mhm.
I guess I feel like that was kind of important to the movie overall because like it shows her humanity despite looking
Yeah.
like a monster, despite
Yeah, and
like
the-
wearing the mask.
the dog
Despite
didn't
looking
attack
like
her,
a monster,
even though
she's the
she-
most human.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of. I think the moral of the story here is, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
That's
you know,
wow.
the prettiest
Never
people
heard
do
that
the
one.
ugliest things.
For the
Are
roads
you
to
still
riches and diamond rings.
What are we quoting right now?
It's original.
Yeah,
It's original.
we just made that up.
Okay. That's
No controversial figures will be mentioned on the Pulp Diction podcast.
Besides,
Is
Owen
being
Castleberry.
Republican controversial?
Are we gonna go down this rabbit hole?
yeah, we're a political podcast
Yeah.
now. Who's everyone voting for?
I can't vote in this
RFK.
election.
Oh.
Am I allowed
Yeah,
to
I'm
look
voting
at...
for RFK, actually.
I
If
mean-
I could, I would.
I've made eye
I
contact.
thought he dropped
with-
out.
He did. He's endorsing Trump.
Well, I'm going to write him in.
You made eye contact with who?
No, I've been making
a
eye
gypsy.
contact
That's
with
a slur. I
the
didn't say that. Don't
camera
cut
for
that
the
out.
entire time.
That's awesome.
That's fine, I think. The pod was derailed.
The pod was.
Let's get
The pod gets
Guys,
derailed
this is me.
quite
I'm
often.
going to do a little bit of physical comedy. Guys, I'm putting the pod back on the rails.
Oh, hold on. I got this.
Yeah, we should do a fake snap. Can you do that?
No.
End it with that.
You know, what was the video? It was a fake video, but it was a promo video of like, it was some guy. He was on some guy's like pod, and it was like a WWE guy, and he started freaking out. And it was like, "I told you that I was not gonna do this. Are you kidding me? I spent all day being here, and he's just like walking out. And he's talking about him being short or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
He's
he,
like this guy with a ponytail.
You should probably do like a for continuity. You should be like, we're back from whatever just happened.
Yeah.
We're back from a break where Dylan tried to get us to do something weird.
he has like
Sex.
his room is set up like Matt Laura's office, so he has like a button that locks the door.
Wait,
Yeah,
who
just
is
iron
that?
bar
Matt
store.
Lauer.
Who is that?
Matt Lauer. He was on the Today Show, and apparently he had like
Oh yeah,
a
like
lock button.
Lock button. On
What
this.
the-
That's awesome.
like-
it is awesome.
Like Quagmire.
I think we should do a movie starring Kevin Spacey, Alec Baldwin,
And me.
Louis C.K.,
Directed by Woody Allen.
directed by Woody Allen,
Woody Allen.
and it's called The Kingdom.
What's the kingdom
It's
about?
called
It's a
God's
Jeffrey
chosen
Epstein biography.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein biopic would be cool.
His life seems so romantic.
You know
I'm
how
not
like there's
even
like,
joking.
You
No,
know-
like he found true love and they did what they loved together.
Jesus Christ.
That is not making it in.
You know, like they're like the monster series.
That is making it in.
You know the monster series on Netflix? How they like glorify all
Yeah.
these
The
like
Dahmer
Oh,
one?
dude, the freaking Javier Bardem. Like, I can't hate this guy. It's Javier Bardem.
Yeah, I don't care if he's
Like the Espinoza twins. Like, daddy's like, I want you to jerk off your brother.
They're the Menendez, not the Espinoza. Idiot.
Whatever. No, this whole bit's getting cut
That's
out.
gotta be
No,
Anyway,
but
so-
I'm just saying. I think a Jeffrey Epstein season because they glorify all this to like make it look cool.
You have to jerk off your brother right now.
Jeffrey Epstein biopic played by Harvey Airport down.
Yeah, I want to eat you on the
Are you
face.
putting the saber out?
I want.
All right, we should probably be like, and
How long have we been at this?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
we're back.
We're back
We're-
from commercial break.
Nothing bad
We don't
happened
have.
at
We
all.
don't get commercial breaks.
We're
Not
back
yet.
from
One day.
the future commercial break.
The future commercial.
It's actually
break.
sponsored by Atlee Film Club. All the dues that you guys are about to pay are getting sent to us so we can...
Well, we should do that.
We're increasing
We
the
should
production
We should get
value.
dues and just take everybody's money.
I think so too, honestly. Like, Dylan's the treasurer, so you can charge whatever you want, Dylan, and just put
Oh,
it all
lit.
into Pulp Diction.
Heck yeah. I'll embezzle everything.
Get like an actual celebrity guest to come on. Javier Bardem
Dude,
is
I
the
think-
next guest.
I think I
nice studio you have.
I think it'd be really funny.
a beautiful studio.
I you know he would be the nicest guy ever too.
You like to film your episodes in here.
Yes, Mr. Bardem.
I
do.
to call it.
What?
else. You have to call it
Why do I have to call it?
everything.
What? What if I
That's
want?
pretty
I don't
good.
really want to. It is pretty good. No, Declan just uses any excuse to pull out his Javier Bardem
I
impression.
do.
Yeah.
Or the Joe Swanson one.
Hey Peter. Hey Peter. Hey Peter. That's so good.
Peter. Nice cock.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome, Dylan.
He has like a Howie Mandel thing. He has to go change his pants now.
Dude, the
sorry.
Howie Mandel thing, not shaking people's hands, is so funny.
Wait, I didn't know about this.
He has
What?
like OCD. He's like, I don't do
That's
that.
also just called being a freak, but you know,
Mm,
the thumb man.
the thumb man. Remember when he posted like a prolapsed anus?
I
on
did.
Yeah,
TikTok?
I want to ask him, does the carpet match the drapes so bad? But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask this white guy with dreadlocks that, but
Dreaded pubes is an awesome idea.
Don't say that. Don't say
I'm gonna
that.
keep that in.
That's so
If
gross.
this podcast gets 10
That's
views, you're
disgusting. Don't
getting
tap the
cornrows.
box. It's gonna mess with the microphone.
Fucking sorry, that was really wrong. Don't tap the box, Owen. My pretty boy.
Can you do a Octavia Spencer
We should make-
impression?
Who's that?
That's that
Ma.
one black
Ma.
woman.
I'm not gonna do that.
Not on camera.
Anyway.
I feel like we were derailed again. But
Were we ever on the rails?
At some point.
We should
or
just
another.
make them
I
all
didn't
watch this at
ask
Film
you.
Club. This is the next Film Club. We have to watch
Yeah,
this.
the whole,
this is
like,
this is
hour
what
of
you guys
this.
could be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like,
In your wildest dreams.
Stop singing
Ow.
on the podcast.
Yeah, copyright.
it just
All
keeps
right.
going, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. How long have we been at this? Like an hour?
You tell us,
give or take?
Dylan.
What time is it?
It's 8:51.
Probably like
Um,
an hour.
Yeah.
So, like, do you guys have anything else you wanted to say about the film?
I'm just ready for the second hour of this podcast, honestly.
Yeah. I heard it was a 24-hour deal.
It is
And
not
we
a
were like
24-hour
taking
deal.
call-ins.
Yeah, we should do that. We
That
should
would
take
be so
call-ins.
killer. Taking
We
call-ins.
need a live Pulp Diction live.
Yeah, it's like a fundraiser. We'll do
Like
whatever
the-
you
like
want
the
for
Muppets.
$15. I would say, like, check it out. Go
Check
check
it
it out.
out.
Go watch
It's
it for
on
yourself.
Max.
Form your own opinion. You could buy it on Criterion, like me, because I'm a loser.
I have it as well. I almost brought the Blu-ray with me.
I have it in the Owen's car.
It's free on YouTube. Someone
on
just
YouTube.
uploaded it to YouTube and no one took it down.
That's the thing with like all these like old foreign movies. No one
Mhm.
gives a crap if they're on YouTube because the Americans aren't making money on it. So it's like
yeah. They're not American,
Um,
so they're not good.
exactly. That's my like life like global view.
I wrote my college essay on that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, just about how people who aren't American don't belong here.
Well, just on you, Abby. Everybody that is here is American. So.
Yeah, so I'm happy about that. That's the only reason I'm doing the podcast. If there was a non-American in this room, I would have to Zoom call or just not do it.
Do it from the safety of
Zoom
your
call
home.
would have been would have been so
much of
unserious.
this
It
is
would
gonna
have
to
been
get cut
so-
out.
Dude, actually, Dylan's gonna have to edit through like 35 minutes of just like
I'm
actually
fine.
like.
Everything
gonna-
I've said, I'm fine with.
I'm
you
actually
keeping in.
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've
Okay.
said anything.
Do you like an Abby like slur highlight reel?
And I'm not gay. Wait, can we put this in? I'm not stupid. I'm not a pedophile, and I'm not gay. These are all things I hear going
The fact
around.
that you have to like go on record to like clarify is
I
crazy.
know, just like putting it out there.
I don't think anyone said you're stupid. I think they were just projecting.
No. Well, you did just now, but it's mostly the pedophile and the gay thing. I'm not like
Well,
why.
you've extenuated the pedophile allegations.
Yeah, because I'd rather have the pedophile allegations than the gay allegations.
What? Well, actually, I have a surprise because Abby has told me in private, actually confessed to me in private, that she wants to take this opportunity to come out on the Pulp Fiction podcast.
No, that's not.
So if we
no,
can
no,
just
no,
get a round
let's
of
talk-
applause
no.
to Abby coming out.
Let's talk about how whoever runs the film club account has congratulated me on coming out. That did happen once. We
That
had
was-
one
she
of
came
them.
out.
That's not true.
Well,
There's
I
no
don't
comment.
remember.
Well, in private,
There's
but
no
we're
straight
announcing
closet.
it. We're announcing it to the
There's
world
no
today.
straight
Abby's
closet.
out of the closet.
Also,
She's
if
gay.
you are a part of Film Club and you haven't watched this movie, then what are you doing? Because this came out after the meeting. So
This
Yeah,
will
true.
come out.
Yeah,
after the
and
meeting.
also if you're in film class, it's a great movie to watch because it's foreign and over 30 years old. So
yeah.
Yep.
get on it, brother. Do make Miss Levesque happy.
make her happy.
That's our whole.
That's- yeah.
That's the
Do you know-
sentiment. All right, let's wrap.
So how-
You gotta burn the
let's get
tape.
out of
You
Dylan's
gotta
house
burn
before he
the
kills
tape.
all of us.
I will not kill anybody yet.
Yeah. We jinx.
Oh.
Knock on wood.
So,
Roll me a
Eyes Without a
blowjob.
Face, I think. Eyes Without a Face, I think we would all recommend highly.
Yes.
Excellent film. If you can get past the fact that it's French.
I love hearing French people talk.
I hate it so much.
French people.
Let's wrap this up before we go on another.
Yeah,
Please,
Yeah.
I can feel it coming.
I mean, I'm just saying.
What?
Okay.
All
All right, we'd all recommend it.
Yeah, we
4
would.
out of 5 stars, I would say.
We're assigning numerical values now.
I will.
3.5. Is that you too?
That's what I was gonna do.
Out of 5.
All right, I gave it a solid 4 out of 5 on my letterboxd.com. You can follow me there. You can like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications on every new Pulp Diction.
spit on that thing, subscribe button.
Spit on that subscribe button.
Pulp Tua.
Give it that Pulp
guys,
Tua.
we gotta beat the Hawk Tua podcast. I think we're number 3 on Spotify right now.
Something like that.
If you had
If we
Haley
could-
Welch
Close
on
enough.
here, what movie would you guys talk about?
Dude, what would
You
what would I
watch
talk
the Talk
about?
to a podcast with Haley Welch.
We'd talk about the Talk to a podcast.
Gotta
'cause
give him
that's
that
better than any
Hawk
movie.
2.
I feel like her favorite movie is something like actually degenerate, like American Pie, but she's only seen like clips.
My parents really want me to watch that movie.
Because it's literally you, Owen.
Her favorite movie is gonna be like either like American Pie or some basic Disney.
Brokeback
Nah,
Mountain.
she do redneck for that. She's a crack baby.
Yeah, I'm a crack man.
Owen is like broke.
Haley Welch is my dream guest.
I thought you were gonna say Dream Girl. Yeah.
Dylan
No.
wants that Hawk 2.
What? I'm gonna lose. I'm losing it.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right.
Dylan.
Thanks
thank
for
you
having us
so
on.
much for
It's
having
been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
all of you.
Anytime you want me, Dylan, you'll have me.
Duly noted.
Well said.
Yeah. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, etc. Follow on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. Someone gave us below a 5-star rating. Now we're down to like a 4.7.
That's cool.
I don't know who did that.
Probably Noah.
Made me very sad.
No, it would not.
He would never.
He's going to after this, though.
Dude, he might if you leave that Josh.
If I put
No,
that,
please leave
if
the
I
Josh
put that
thing
picture,
in, dude.
I'll
Just
leave it.
don't-
And the
cut it.
picture.
I'll leave it in. But you have to tell me how he reacts.
Oh, dude, he'll probably say something to you
flip
about
his-
it. He'll be like, what the F, I trusted you, Dylan.
Hey, buddy. Did you say something?
Hey,
call me Josh? Hey, buddy.
So you think you're funny now?
I didn't even say anything. I just let you three
You're a
just
punk.
say everything.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna let them talk to me about. They're gonna let them talk about me like that.
You've been hanging around with Owen too much. That's what he's gonna... And then he's gonna do the neck roll thing. That-
Is that a bit, or is that like a...
I don't know.
Definitely not.
It's like he's like... Even if he's not autistic, he still plays Roblox for like 10 hours.
That's
so
not
it's
that
still like...
Remember to follow us on Spotify.
Yeah.
Follow.
We're on Instagram now. Follow us on Instagram. And that's gonna wrap it up.
Want to plug something?
You can plug whatever you want.
Follow Atlee Film Club on Instagram.
Yes,
That's all I have to
follow our
say.
school film club. Declan's our
I'm the
group
president,
leader,
but he runs the Instagram, so...
It's me.
and Abby's just kind of there.
She's
Can
the
I
vice
promote
president, and
something?
he's the treasurer.
I am the treasurer,
He is.
but I'm the real treasurer. I think. I think the
agree.
real treasure is the friends we made along the way.
That's
What
so
were you?
sweet.
What did you want to promote? I'm
Oh,
kind of scared to
Just my
ask.
personal Instagram if you want to drop a follow.
I'll,
Abby
I'll,
Stevens.
I'll link it.
Thank you.
Any single ladies.
Kill
all the
yourself,
same.
Owen. Owen has a 12-year-old girlfriend that lives on Omak. Dude, he has an Asian girlfriend that says the N-word. Like, actually, get
Well,
off.
We're
me.
not leaving this in, don't worry, Owen.
I don't care. I'm not
Let's
like
plug
Abby.
Sophia's Instagram. Just kidding.
She's not really pro.
She is. She's...
She's 13.
14 and a half in dog years. I've never said anything racist in my life.
Me either.
Me either.
Or on this podcast.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
And or
Peace and
watching.
love.
And peace and love.
You do it too, Dylan.
I'm not doing it.